Hi guys, I am really excited with the update to the design shown here because honestly I feel like it still retains a lot of the original character before we received the design consultant's input from the city of Palo Alto. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first show how impactful it is that we moved the house back. So if I go here and I turn on the previous revision, so I'm showing this blocked out in blue. And the original design was moved really far forward, it had a 4-foot deep overhang, and most importantly, the second bedroom was jammed right up next to the front bedroom here, the adjacent other bedroom, and we only had a very narrow opening between the second bedroom wall and this very decorative cornice element. So if we unhide everything else, we can see now how far back this has shifted by shifting the house back and also by reducing that cornice overhang from 4 feet to 3 feet. So the design is a lot lighter now. There's a lot more open sky here adjacent to this single-story home, and I hope that Palo Alto will see this as a very fair compromise. So like I said, I retained a lot of the original design intent, but where opportunities allowed, I tried to improve the design, to be quite honest. So, there's several instances in the home where we are doing these screen elements, and while I didn't really feel that it was appropriate to put an additional screen element here adjacent to the side wall like we had before in the back, I opted to remove that wood screen element because, again, the city's input to us was, we want to minimize the impact that this bulk and mass of the home has to this single-story home. So instead of incorporating the screen here, I instead just clad this upstairs volume with wood siding. Especially given that it's now stacked directly over this ground floor wall, I thought it was really, really important to help break up the scale of this wall to have a change in material that was a bit more exciting than just seeing stucco. I think it plays really well with the master suite over garage volume back there. But then what I also like is that by incorporating this trim element and fattening this trim element up, that was before just crowning the windows, now that trim element has been boosted a little bit more to help mask that cantilever. Because I love the cantilever in the front. I think it's really, really exciting and dynamic. I love it a lot. I'm less enamored with it in the back, and I think that's why originally we didn't go for having a cantilever going over the front and the back, but I get the compromise we're trying to make with the city of trying to lessen the impact at the front. So I think this is a worthwhile compromise should the city approve this design. I think this is nice, and I think it is still very exciting, and while I do appreciate this and I still like it, I don't like it enough to also want to shift the master suite back over the courtyard as well to have a symmetrical mirrored effect. It really didn't work. I tried it out and it just looked really hokey. This, I think, is far more interesting and far more exciting. And the building section through here that cuts through this light well and through this second floor volume that cantilevers over the front and the back, it's very, very exciting. Another thing I'm trying to do regarding the bulk and mass is, since this is still just the closet for this front bedroom, and this is a rather small tertiary bedroom, this might just wind up being a home office or a loft space, these two spaces alone have ceiling heights of 8 feet. And I think it's appropriate. I think it's fine because what that's allowing is the ground floor is still 10. So we have a 10-foot ground floor with an 8-foot second floor adjacent to the second story. And it's so far away too, right? This isn't like we're building this right against the 6-foot setback. We are 12 feet away from the setback, almost 17 feet away from the house itself. But I hope that this compromise of bringing this down 1 foot here and going with an 8-foot plate height along here will be seen as a nice compromise from the city. But then the other 2 bedrooms at the front do still retain their 9-foot ceiling heights. Try as I might, I couldn't find a way of making this front elevation look as exciting, as dynamic as we want, without these 2 roof plates being the same and without having this cornice element coming out in the front. But like I said at the start of the video, I found other ways of incorporating motifs and themes that we're using in other places of the home here at the front, and I think you're going to love it. So you'll recall that the master balcony detailing shows the screen going up vertically, and then it turns horizontally to be the open roofing of the balcony. Let's go there to see that. Right, this balcony space feels really nice. It's very open. Palo Alto requires that the balcony be open, otherwise if it's covered it counts as floor area, so we're keeping it open there. Here we can keep it enclosed, so I thought it would be nice to do that, although to be honest with you, I am tempted to have a small opening in here to let light shine through, just like we're doing at the balcony. So if you would bear with me. It would need a different color, but that could be kind of exciting, although it doesn't look quite right to me going in this direction. And we could also, for what it's worth, omit this element and just keep this going up to the ceiling. So we don't need to incorporate those slats, but I do like them. But another feature that I really like is where we had previously shown the stone accent bridging between the bedroom windows. I've retained that. We're still keeping that. It turns the corner, but now that we've got this outside corner and inside corner configuration, I think it'd be so awesome if the bedroom on this side were to incorporate some drywall joints or lines in the drywall that matched up with the joints in the tile work out here. It would be very subtle when you're walking up to the house, but it would be such a slick detail for whoever got to use this bedroom. And that's really about the extent of the changes. Here again, the previous design comes out a lot farther than what we're showing now, and this new design is a lot more open on this side. So I mentioned that the house moved back, as you know, but I still think that the backyard feels really, really generously sized. I know you want more. More is always better, but this feels fantastic to me. It's a nice bit of open play space here. The patio is the right size. Let it come out a little bit farther. Let there be enough room for furniture and people standing behind their friends. I think it's so much better to let this be oversized than the opposite, where it's undersized and you don't have enough room for everyone. Yeah, but I still love this design. There's not much change back here. I am waiting to talk with the structural engineer about how much narrower this bank of windows needs to be in order to reduce the steel wall count. But there's plenty to spare there. I'd be quite content narrowing this up. Well, guys, as always, I am very eager to hear your feedback on this updated design. I love it. I think this is fantastic. I hope you guys love it too. I'm sure the city will too, but before we put it back to them, I will, of course, want to hear back from you guys on what you think of the design before I charge ahead with updating the documents and resubmitting to the city. Thanks, guys.